You've been ranked in the top 100 most powerful people in global finance, and Ernst & Young previously named you Entrepreneur of the Year. You've recently been embroiled in the fallout of the FTX collapse, and your relationship with Sam Bankman-Fried has become the focus of a great deal of attention. You believe that recent events prove crypto needs regulation, but that this technology is here to stay and will play a major part of our future. Anthony, welcome back to London Real.
Been a tough year, Brian. Tough year, but it's always a pleasure. It's always great to be with you, of course. You have an amazing show. And but yeah, it's been a tough year. I know Sam well, obviously disappointed by Sam. And I think what Sam perpetrated is absolutely tragic. So, there's some mental health issues there going on as well. I would encourage your viewers and listeners to read his testimony that he was supposed to give to the Congress, which he did not give because he was arrested. But you could see that is a young man struggling with a lot of mental health issues. So he lost me money. He hurt my reputation. But I still am a human being. And so when I read that, I read it with great sadness, not only for him, but also for his mom and dad, who I got to know well. It's just one of these things where it's a head scratcher for me. I always tell my clients and my friends, it's not the things that you worry about, the things that, okay, that's a risk, I have to worry about this. It's the things that you think you know with reasonable degrees of certainty that catch you blind. Those are the things that hit you. And this really did hit me out of the blue.
Yeah, well, I appreciate your candor, and you're always candid. That's what I really appreciate about you, Scaramucci. When you were here in London that first time, you talked about everything that happened in the White House, and I know you're going to do it today, and I appreciate it. And I agree. I think we could all use a little bit of compassion here. I mean, the kid's 30. He went to MIT just like I did. He obviously made a lot of decisions, disappointed a lot of people. But at the end of the day, he is human, and he's dealing with a situation that nobody would want to be in right now. And I think sometimes Twitter can just go for the throat. And I appreciate you saying that to start off.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I got hammered by the guy. Remember, I got introduced to him by a mutual friend. He asked to support and sponsor my SALT conference. I did do that with him. I was back in 2021. It went very well. We ended up doing a conference together in the Bahamas, which was very well received. It was arguably one of the best cryptocurrency conferences in the industry's short history. 2,500 people at the Baha Mar Hotel. We brought President Clinton, Prime Minister Blair. We had a host of celebrities there, but also, I would say, the broad base of the crypto ecosystem. When the bottom fell out of the crypto market shortly thereafter, Sam had positioned himself as somebody that was well risk managed, and he was in the process of buying up other companies. Okay, so you just have to imagine the impression that we all had of him, which was 180 degrees away from what he was actually really doing. And then you say, well, how could you not know? Because here's what happens now, Brian. People will blame the victims. I went to the Yale School of Management Symposium this week. There were probably 75 CEOs from the top U.S. Fortune 250. There were luminaries and academics, and several of my old bosses, including Lloyd Blankfein, were there. Jeff Sonnenfeld, the dean of the school, he juxtaposed a deal announcement on CNBC of me discussing the purchase of Sam, buying my shares, the 30% interest, and then 2.5 months later, me on CNBC speaking about what appeared to be fraud. We know more about it now, so we can say it more definitively. And then he turns to me and says, what say you? And here I am in front of all those people on the hot seat. And I'm going to tell you what I said to them, because I think it's important for your viewers and listeners. I said, well, number one, I obviously made a mistake. And so what you do when you make a mistake is you own the mistake and you explain what happened. Particularly in a situation where there's fraud, because I would rather explain it to everybody so that if just one person does not have to go through what Skybridge and I myself are going through right now, if we could save one person from learning about what was perpetrated, I think that's a victory. Number two, I'm a risk taker. I don't grow up in a blue collar neighborhood and live the life that I've lived. And yes, it was a short stay in the White House, but I did have an office in the White House. I did fly Air Force One. I built 2 successful businesses. I've authored several books. You've seen me on a few reality shows. I'm coming up on Special Forces this January. Your UK guys will know Billy Billingham and Foxy, Jason Fox, who were kicking my butt in the Jordanian desert this past summer. You're not going to live that kind of a life experience without taking risk. And so my message to the entrepreneurs and the young aspirants that are listening to London Real, when you have a high profile like mine and you fail, it gets 4 to 5 times more exaggerated because of the spotlight, and everybody likes a good car crash. But I could not get to where I am without throwing the football. So when you throw the football, you get sacked, you fumble the football, and you have interceptions. But man, you can score a lot of touchdowns too. And the last point I'll make on this topic, and I'm happy to talk about anything as detailed as you would like, is this is not going to deter me from taking risk in the future. This is not going to deter me from explaining to people what the blockchain is and what the innovations are of that technology and why we think that technology is here to stay. It's not going to stop me from debating naysayers. And I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to be on.
Hey, it's Brian Rose, founder of the DeFi Academy. I've told you my 4-week crypto bootcamp is amazing, but don't take my word for it. This is what my students are saying.
The DeFi Academy was an amazing experience for me. It took me totally out of my comfort zone.
In this course, I was challenged, I was held accountable, and pushed to do things that honestly weren't always easy.
It's been phenomenal, and I can't believe we're already up on our 4 weeks. It has flown by.
Going through this DeFi accelerator by far was one of the best courses I've taken.
You do this course, you really get into the nitty-gritty of the activities that will make you comfortable with decentralized finance.
Thank you so much to Brian and everyone at London Real and the DeFi Academy for even putting together an amazing course like this.
Anybody else that wants to do it, please sign up. It is well worth the money.